We're looking at question 30 on the AP Statistics Midterm Review packet, and here we're told that we're looking at IQ scores. It has a normal distribution, a mean of 110, and a standard deviation of 15, and we're asked, between what two IQ scores does 40% of the scores lie between? So let me go ahead and outline what we're given, and as I read my choices, I'm going to cross out choice D. And the reason why is because that tells me, it's between the 25th and 75th percentiles. That's 50%. 50% of the information lies between 25th and 75th percentiles, or between first quartile and third quartile. So I know it's not D, so I have A, B, C, and E to choose from. So I'm going to outline what's given. I have the shape, I have the center, and I have the spread. My shape, we're told, is that it is normal. We have a center, mu of 110. We have a spread, standard deviation of 15. I'm giving context. X is the IQ scores, and I want to know between what two values does 40% of the information lie. So that's what I'm looking at here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this the long way. And the long way is going to be using table A. I'd have to outline everything. I got my shape, I got my center, I got my spread. I'm trying to figure out what is a lie between. I drew a picture. Perfect. So at least I'm addressing things, shape, center, spread. And I want to find out, okay, 40% of the information. Well, I'm going to have to go ahead and try each and every single one of these. So if I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out option A first. And the reason why is if I can look at my labels down here, I have 80 falling right here and 140 falling right here. That is two standard deviations within the mean. So there's your empirical rule. 95% of the information lies within two standard deviations. So we can cross out option A. So let me go ahead and try option B. Option B says that I have 65 and 155. So if I look at 65 right here, and I look at 155 right here, that's three standard deviations. I'm looking at within three standard deviations. So therefore, I'm going to be dealing with 99.7%. So I'm going to cross out option B, because that's 99.7% of the information. So the empirical rule allowed me to eliminate two choices, and then logic allowed me to eliminate one. I'm down to two choices now, 50-50 chance of guessing. Also, that allows me to go ahead and plug in one of the numbers, the 106, maybe the 106 and the 110, see what I get, and if it's 40%, that's my answer. If it's not 40%, then E is my answer. So that's the way we're going to approach it. And we're going to do one way using table A. And I want to explain why table A will be a little bit slow here. Is if I'm going to use table A, I'm going to have to go ahead and plot where does 106 fall, where does 110 fall. And I'm going to find z-scores and use table A to find probability to the left. And here's really what it is. I'm not going to do all the work. I'm going to show you the work here. You can see my shading. You can see that I have 106. You can see I have 110. Now, I need to find the probability to the left of 110 first. Then I need to subtract the probability to the left of 106. Good news is probability to the left of 110, since it's the mean, is 50%. I'm going to have to find the z-score for 106. So 106 minus 110 divided by 15 is about negative 0.27. Then I'm going to go to table A. And when I go to table A and I find where that negative 2.7 is, if I zoom in on that, that looks like it's 0.3936. That sounds like 0.40. That sounds like 40%. So maybe I'm going to think my answer is between 106 and 110. But you have to be careful, because that 0.3936 is to the left of an observation of 106, an IQ score of 106. It's not your final answer. That's a trick in this problem. What you need to do is remember the whole thing. We're taking 0.5 minus that 0.3936, which gives me 0.1064. 10%, well 10.6% of the information lies between an IQ score of 106 and 110, not 40%. But you may have thought maybe 40 if you quickly just did the work and forgot about what you were doing with it. That's why table A here would go ahead and kind of make it a little more difficult. When if you're using table A, you might fall for a trap here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go ahead and do the same thing with the calculator. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, the answer is going to be E then, we know. But I'm going to use my calculator to figure that out. And so if I want to use my calculator to figure it out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in my lower bound, which is 102, my upper bound, which is 118, a mean of 110, and a standard deviation of 15. So you can see I have my shape, center, spread addressed when it comes to notation. It's addressed when it comes to a graph. And man, it's addressed when it comes to writing it down, because I have labeled lower is 102, upper is 118, the mean is 110, the standard deviation is 15. I got everything set. I labeled everything. Now, if I go to my calculator there, you would go ahead and get that that is going to be about 40%. So our answer here is E. So do keep that in mind. I think it's easier to use the calculator, and it will be helpful the further we go in the course to know that, because I can type them in a lot faster than all of that work